Hey guys. So we got another solo episode today. A lot of stuff going on. People got busy. We had an episode recording scheduled, and we sort of had to move things around, and we weren't able to get that rescheduled due to outside circumstances, kind of work related, for the guests and stuff. So that ended up not coming to fruition. So now we're here. And this is probably going to be a short one. I don't have a lot to talk about today. You know, sometimes I come on and I'm like, oh, I got all these things I can talk about. But today it's like, I don't know. I mean, what's going on here? What are we doing? Oh, well, what we're doing is getting notifications on the computer. So, uh, here's the deal. Um, the main thing, I mean, a couple things up top. There's kind of a new. I've mentioned it before. The podcast does have an Instagram. I don't really use it that much. I mean, if we're being honest. Uh, yeah, I mean, you feel free to what's it called? Follow on there. Follow the Instagram. If you're a listener of the show, maybe I'll start posting stuff if people will ask for it. You know, leave a comment if you'd like. Um, but I know there's a new app called Threads. You know, that's in the news. I haven't set that up with the podcast. Maybe we will. Maybe we need to expand the social media nature of the podcast. I don't know. I mean, you know, because our views, we'll say generously go up and down. You know, right now we're getting sometimes we get a ton of YouTube views. I don't know. Maybe it's just a title thing or whatever. Uh, but yeah, so we haven't really touched social media, but that's just something I wanted to hit on the beginning. Again, this is gonna be like a 10-minute episode. I mean, if if we get that far. But I just thought about some things that I was just this is like I'm just gonna list um I'm gonna list some TV shows because you know I've been watching a lot of TV recently. Um, and I wanted to. These are all real shows. But just so this is an article saying the top 10 on WatchMojo, the top 20 shows with horrible titles. Just because some of these are like, you know. Um, so let's go. I haven't looked at all. Let me just, yeah. So I'm going through. I mean, because I could have done movies, but like movies, you know, there's a lot of like small independent movies that you know no one's ever heard of and stuff. Like these TV shows, I mean, they had to have some audience to go on television. So there's 20 of them. So I'm just gonna kind of list through them, and if some of them like are familiar, maybe I'll talk more. Like the first one here, number 20, Dr. Pimple Popper. Um, yeah, I guess people are interested in this. You know, like a guy. Uh, I, or a woman or whoever, I don't know, the doctor in the show, a dermatologist goes in and talks about like pimples and popping them and other things like that. I will say, my dad watches this show. I don't know if he's watched it recently, but he's seen the show before, and he does enjoy it. I think he likes the sort of medical aspect, the you know reality of it all and the information that you can learn from it. So I guess people enjoy it. It looks like it's still on the air. I mean, it's been a few years that it's been on the air. So yeah, just like the name is like Dr. Bimblebopper. I mean, okay. The next show, Trophy Wife, number 19 here, Trophy Wife. You know, um, I, yeah, I guess you could make it work. But yeah, you know, nowadays it's I don't know that people are really into watching something like that. Number 18, Love Monkey. This list has like a little blurb about the show, so I'm kind of like reading on the fly here. But there's just like I don't know what that like some like the point of this list I think is like what is this show about? What is Love Monkey even about? Like it doesn't really tell you enough. Number 17, here comes Honey Boo Boo. back in the sort of reality TV section. A lot of these seems like they're comedies or reality TV, and maybe there's some overlap. Um, I've never really been into the Honey Boo Boo stuff. I know people, are get invested in that. That's just never been something for me. But all to you. Number 16, God Friended Me. Um, all right, is this like a religious thing? I'm gonna read the blurb. I'm not sure. Is this meant to like, uh, get the younger, maybe Christian audience? Is that what it's kind of going for? Like, ooh, we can, God friended me. Oh, okay. Now that, like, is that what, I don't know what they're going for with that. But that's number 16. Uh, well, I guess it's basically like, God friended me. Um, it, it's trying, yeah, you guys get it. Uh, Number 15, Shasta McNasty. Um, it's based, well, it's about a group of friends who create a rap rock group called Shasta McNasty. Um, yeah, I don't know that that's really, again, as a TV show, maybe as a band that could be okay, but as a show, like, you can't call it that because no one's gonna know what it is. So, yeah, you can't do that. Um, Yeah. I don't think I've seen any of these shows. Like I said, my dad watched the Pimple Popper one, but that's really it. Anyway, speaking of my dad, number 14 is Bleep. My dad says it is. It's just like it's like the dollar sign exclamation point, whatever. Uh, so it's guys. Let me explain it to you. It's meant to be a bad word. So. First off, the title, having it like censored, having a censored word right off the bat is interesting. There's been shows that kind of play on that, like Schitt's Creek, but spelled Schitt. So they're going away with it because it's a name, but this series, Bleep, my dad says, just like you can't do it. I don't think, and this was in 2010, 2011. It's not like, on Netflix you can get away with that maybe, on a streaming service, but on like, network TV, yeah, that's not gonna work. Number 13 here. Two guys, a girl, and a pizza place. Um, like that's okay. I mean, it's a little long. It ran for a few seasons, and it looks like the problem here is they changed the name in the middle of the show. Uh, they abandoned the whole pizza element of the series. Uh, and yeah, like it's just not it. It's too long. It's not catchy or anything. It doesn't really like tell you that much about the show. Like it's got two girls. Like wait, what? Apparently, according to the sport, it's got Ryan Reynolds and Nathan Fillion, younger versions of them in the show. So maybe it's got something going for it. Apparently, it wasn't that terrible of a show. It looks like it's just the title, just like it doesn't work. Number 12, Selfie. Um, yeah, okay. In 2014, this is when the show came out. It's got John Cho and Karen Gillan. Those are real actors. The problem here is like it feels like a show that like an older executive came up was like, well, we gotta get to the younger audience, and this is in 2014. So um, when selfies were probably just that term was just kind of starting out, maybe a little, or maybe it'd been around for a little bit, but not that long, obviously. Um, and yeah, it's an older executive going like, we got to relate to the younger kids. Just call the show something that's just pick a buzzword, pick today's slang, roll a dice on that. Number 11, I Hate My Teenage Daughter. Okay, in 2011, 2012. Uh, I don't know, like what are you trying to get? Who's the audience for this? Is it that like the parents? Is it the teenagers? Is it the daughters that are like, but like, I, I don't know how either of them would watch this because it's like it's the negativity, right? People don't want. I mean, maybe people like negativity. I shouldn't say that. People do like to watch negativity, but I don't know. I don't think it's catchy enough. I mean, even back then, this is 10 years ago. I think you needed something a little more. But even then, I love my teenage daughter wouldn't work. So maybe just don't make it like a sentence about how you feel about your daughter. Uh, so number 10. Now so that's half the list. We're rolling through this. And we're only 10 minutes in. So this podcast has already lasted longer than I thought it would. Number 10, Kevin, and then in parentheses, probably saves the world. Um, okay, yeah, like it doesn't really. It kind of sounds like it's a superhero parody kind of a thing, but they don't make it super clear. It looks like right here in the description here, it's got like sort of angelic themed um, elements. But it doesn't really tell you that in the title, so I don't know that, like, if you're going to watch this, you don't necessarily know what you're getting into. Number 9 here. The title is It's Like, You Know. And it's like, then comma, you know, and then an ellipses. Like, no, it's like, like that doesn't work. I don't think I don't think it's catchy enough. I get that, like, it's kind of, this again, seems to be sort of like an executive trying to do the catchy thing. What are people saying? How do we get a new audience to watch the show? Oh, that's kind of cool, weird and clever, but is it? Uh, Number 8, we're rolling now. GCB. Now, um, that's that's insane. An acronym, 3-letter acronym, GCB, Golf Charlie Bravo. Um, that doesn't tell you at all what it is. Why would you click on that? I'll let you guys look up what that stands for. But it's about it's kind of a play. It looks like it's kind of a play of HBIC. So you guys can figure that out with GCB. But it's got a. I don't think anyone's interested in figuring out what. Yeah, like no one. Why would you be interested in that? Or I should say, why would you be interested in a show called GCB? Like it doesn't. I'm not. Do you really care about is the whole premise? Like you're trying to figure out what the acronym stands for, but then once you figure it out, then are you gonna keep watching the show? Like then it's got to be an amazing show to keep you watching. So, number 7, Cougar Town. Now I remember scrolling through cable back in the day. This was 2009 to 2015. I remember scrolling through cable. Whatever this show was on, what network was this on? But it was always on this network that I was scrolling past. I'm like, what is this show? I never clicked on it, I will say. Maybe some of you don't believe me. No, I never actually clicked on it. So I don't know what it's even about. I mean, I can figure it out. Let's see. I'm going to look up Cougar Town. What was the network that it was on? Yeah, okay, TBS. Yeah, it was always on TBS from 2013 to 2015. I would always like be scrolling past TBS. I'm like, what? No, I don't want to watch Cougar Town. Like, I'm just trying to get to. I don't remember what I was watching on TBS at the time. Or if I was just going past it to get to FX. I think growing up in that time period, TBS was like the channel next to FX, and so I was like, oh, I want to watch like, well, I don't know at that time what I was watching. Maybe it was later, but it was like Atlanta or whatever FX show I was watching. I'm like, oh man, why is Cougar Town always on? And yeah, like I don't know. I guess it's like, it starts Courtney Cox. That's right. That sounds familiar. Yeah, I don't know. it feels weird to watch a show like that. Anyway, the number six is Manimal, and this is way back in 1983. I know for some older listeners, I don't know if we have older listeners, but that would not be as way back. Manimal. I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, I guess if you're interested in sort of an action adventure show about that, but like weird. It's got a weird tone. Number five, Bunheads. now, now this, if you maybe it's obvious, but it's about ballet dancers, and you know how you always put your hair in a bun when you're a ballet dancer, right? You figure that out. But like, if you didn't know about, or if you weren't into like, well, I shouldn't say, if you weren't thinking about ballet dancers, no, I only thought about it because it was written in this blurb right here. You wouldn't really know what that means, and then if you weren't interested in watching a show about ballet dancers, would you really keep wanting to watch a show? I don't know. Maybe it was an interesting show. I don't know if it looks like a drama. Maybe. I don't know. Number four, we're in here. We're in the home stretch. Don't Trust the Bee. And this is the similar bee as earlier. In Apartment 23 in 2012. So this is in 2012. Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23. Now, I can appreciate the rhyme. Okay, I'll say that. But again, like the weird negativity, it just doesn't. I don't think it plays. I don't think it plays. Like, you know, that seems to be a theme of a lot of these. It's just like weird negativity, or it's too vague that you wouldn't necessarily know what it is, or be interested in finding out what it is. And that's why a lot of these shows are they did not last very long. You can't really like, do you go to at work, do you go talk about, hey, did you see Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23? Like, it's also a little long, and again, I appreciate the rhyme, but it's a little too long, and yeah, I don't know. Okay, then next, number three, Scrotal Recall. I don't, that also doesn't tell you what it's about. And that's really all I have to say about that. I just don't know what that means. And this blurb is talking about how it's on Netflix, and then it wasn't, and then, oh, they changed the name to Lovesick. Scrotal Recall. Yeah. No, it doesn't really work. Number two, Heil, Honey, I'm Home. Heil, Honey, I'm Home. I don't think that's gonna play. You know, it's apparently a show about Hitler living next to a Jewish family, like a sitcom though, and I don't know. This was in 1990. I don't think, yeah. That's enough. I think you got to stay away from that. Number one, My Mother, the Car. This is from 1965. Yeah, I don't, what? Just what? So the description here says they just threw a bunch of ideas in a hat and picked two at random. That's what it does feel. I agree. That's what it feels like. My Mother, the Car. Just like a random, it's like, again, the executive was like, we need something, just pick some random concepts and we're just gonna throw it in and make a TV show. But anyway, those were 20 shows with horrible titles. Top 20 shows with horrible titles. So there you have it. That's the show this week. This was a longer episode than I thought. And again, I apologize for no guests or anything this week. I every single person I asked was a no. You know, summer's tough because people are traveling and they're doing whatever else. I am planning on, well, I'll have some travel coming up. We'll try to pre-record a bunch of stuff, but I don't know. I can't promise we're going to have episodes every week. You you know, in kind of the late August and then most of September time period. That's going to be pretty busy for me. We're going to be traveling, and then I'm going to be potentially moving. So, not potentially, I'm most likely moving. I should say most likely, definitely moving. So that's going to be a lot of, that's going to eat up a lot of my time. Again, I usually am able to find an hour. I always tell people, like, you can't find an hour in your week to do the podcast. I got to edit and all that stuff too. That doesn't take that long. Um, so yeah, we'll try to keep the episodes churning. Because I haven't missed a week in a very long time. We did, it was like maybe years ago, we did a summer where we had an every other episode thing, and some of it was sort of old stuff, old recordings of other things that I posted. But for the most part, we've been pretty good about getting episodes out weekly, because we care about the listeners and we want to continue to provide content. So thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you guys hopefully next week.